Today is Wednesday, May 13th, 2026.
Right.
And, imagine you wake up this morning, you open your window expecting to get a breath of fresh air,
Uh-huh.
and out of the corner of your eye, you see this massive, fuzzy, dark shadow just, well, moving around in your garden.
Oh, wow. That's a terrifying thought.
Right. An actual bear just taking a stroll across your lawn. And this isn't some horror movie script.
No, it's not.
This literally happened this morning. This is breaking news out of Hiroshima City.
Yeah, the situation there right now is really tense.
I mean, they literally had to shut down local elementary schools because of this.
Exactly. And, while the Hiroshima situation is shocking, what's really important for you to understand is that this isn't just a rural issue anymore.
Right. The whole paradigm is shifting.
It really is. I mean, bears are now showing up in Tokyo suburbs, and up north in Hokkaido, we're seeing these massive, what experts are calling metabolic brown bears.
Okay, metabolic, like overweight.
Exactly. They are stalking human settlements, and it feels like the whole ecosystem's rules have just been rewritten.
So, to help you navigate this rapidly changing crisis, we've got a very clear mission for this deep dive today.
Yeah, we're going to break down exactly what's happening on the ground.
Right. We're organizing all the latest sighting data across Japan, and we're unpacking the expert analysis on, why these massive animals are suddenly moving into our territories.
And most importantly, we're giving you a step-by-step survival guide.
Exactly. From what cities are doing with, like, high-tech countermeasures, all the way down to what you should do if you literally come face-to-face with a bear.
Because that is becoming a very real possibility.
It is. So let's start with the immediate situation from this morning in Hiroshima.
Right, the timeline there is pretty crazy.
At 6:10 a.m., the sun is barely up,
Yeah,
and a resident in Psyche Ward is just, walking their dog.
just normal morning routine.
Right. And suddenly they spot a bear that's about a meter long just wandering down the street.
And that wasn't even the only sighting, right?
No, it wasn't. Shortly after that, another resident called the police saying there was a 70 to 80 centimeter bear right in their garden.
Which means there are multiple individuals, or it's moving fast.
Exactly. The police are currently doing a massive search, and like we mentioned, the local elementary school is temporarily closed just to keep the kids safe.
Imagining your normal commute to work or school suddenly turning into, like, a wild animal zone, it's a lot of pressure.
It's unbelievable. But as scary as Hiroshima is, they do have mountains relatively nearby.
True.
What I think is truly chilling for city dwellers is the Tokyo footage.
Oh, the Hakioji incident.
You're right. Seeing a bear in the Tokyo suburbs, it's like, I don't know, finding a shark in your local swimming pool. Just doesn't make sense.
That's a great analogy. And the footage from April 29th really shattered people's sense of security.
What exactly did they catch on camera?
So it was a security camera in Hakioji, Tokyo. It caught an adult Asian black bear over a meter long, just casually wandering through a wooded patch.
And this wasn't like deep in the wilderness, right?
No, not at all. It was right next to an elementary school and a dense residential neighborhood.
Oh, man.
And get this, it was only 6 kilometers away from JR Hakioji Station.
Wait, 6 kilometers?
Yeah.
That's like barely a 5-minute drive from a major train hub.
Exactly. When reporters talked to the locals, people were just in pure disbelief. They couldn't understand how the defense line had fallen so far back into the Tokyo suburbs.
It's wild. But okay, let's look at the northern front now, because Hokkaido is dealing with something entirely different, right?
Yeah, the situation in Hokkaido is extreme.
Because normally it's spring right now. Bears just woke up from hibernation.
Right, they should be starving.
Exactly. They should be skinny, right? Like they just burned off all their winter fat.
That's the normal biological cycle. But the footage we have right now shows something completely different.
These are the Metabo bears you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, they are waking up from hibernation looking incredibly massive.
How massive are we talking?
Well, in Optown, they caught footage of a 300-kilogram class brown bear.
300 kilos. That's like a grand piano.
It is, and it gets worse. In Tamatown, there was a sighting of a massive 2-meter-tall bear weighing 330 kilograms.
Oh, wow.
It was so big that when officials tried to use a standard large metal trap to catch it, the bear literally couldn't fit through the door.
Wait, really? It was too wide for the trap.
Exactly. Its body was just too huge.
So this brings up the biggest question of this deep dive. What on earth are these bears eating that lets them completely skip that skinny post-hibernation phase?
Right, that is the million-dollar question. And to answer it, we have to look at the analysis from Tama Asao.
Okay, who is that?
He's a wildlife conservation coordinator for the Ministry of the Environment. He introduced this crucial concept called Hyorimi-Shoku.
Irregular shoku. What does that translate to?
It basically means opportunistic omnivores.
Okay, so they eat whatever's around.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Normally, bears rely on carbs, things like nuts, acorns, plant roots.
The classic bear diet.
Right, but their bodies are highly adaptable. If they find a more efficient, higher-calorie food source, they will change their entire diet to get it.
So what's the new high-calorie food?
Meat. Specifically, the Hokkaido brown bears have developed a serious taste for Izo deer meat.
Wait, hold on. Deer are fast, like incredibly agile.
Yeah, there.
Are bears suddenly turning into, like, apex predators and sprinting after deer across the plains? That doesn't seem biologically possible.
No, you're totally right to question that. That's a very common misconception.
So they aren't hunting them.
Not exactly. They aren't chasing them down like lions. What's actually happening is a massive environmental chain reaction.
Okay, explain that to me.
Bears are actually just scavenging. The root cause here is that the Izo deer population in Hokkaido has completely exploded.
How many deer are there?
Estimates put it at around 730,000 deer.
730,000. That is an insane number.
It is. And with a population that huge, the number of deer that die naturally or from accidents is really high.
So there's just a lot of dead deer lying around.
Right. But here's the twist. As the deer population grew, they realized that human settlements are actually the safest place to be.
Wait, why would human towns be safe for a deer?
Because of the hunting laws. Hunters are strictly prohibited from shooting near residential areas or towns.
Oh, wow. So the deer figured out that the towns are basically a sanctuary.
Exactly. They move to the edge of human settlements to avoid being hunted, and when those deer die naturally near our towns or get hit by cars, they become a free, high-calorie meat buffet for the bears.
So the bears aren't invading us on purpose. They're literally just following the trail of easy food right into our backyards.
You hit the nail on the head. We actually have drone footage showing a massive brown bear just feasting on a deer carcass near a town.
Okay, that makes total sense for Hokkaido. But that doesn't explain Tokyo at all.
Right. Tokyo's a different story.
Yeah, because there aren't 730,000 wild deer roaming around the Tokyo suburbs. So how did a bear get within 6 kilometers of Hakkyoji Station?
For places like Tokyo, the issue is actually tied to human demographics, specifically depopulation and rural abandonment.
Okay, how does population decline bring bears to the city?
Well, think about how it used to be. You had clear boundaries between farming villages and the forest, right?
Yeah, lots of people, cars, noise, a natural barrier.
Exactly. But as younger people moved to the cities and older generations passed away, we've left behind all these abandoned farmlands, unpicked fruit trees, and empty houses.
So those buffer zones just disappeared.
Yes, and they turned into what experts call an urban bridge or a green bridge. All these overgrown weeds and abandoned plots create perfect hidden pathways.
Wow, so the bears are just wandering through these overgrown corridors, completely hidden from us.
Right. They follow these abandoned paths, snacking on leftover crops, and suddenly they're right on the edge of a major urban zone like Hakkyoji.
That is genuinely creepy. And I read something else in the data about Hakkyoji that we actually, accidentally invited them in.
Yeah, that's the real tragic irony here, that bear in Hakkyoji. It was actually lured in by a trap.
Bear tricks.
No, a wild boar trap. The local officials set up traps to catch boars, and they used really sweet, high-calorie bait to do it.
Oh, no. So a hungry bear just wandered down the green bridge, smelled the sweet bait, and followed it right to the school.
Exactly. Our own traps, meant for a different animal, acted as the final magnet pulling them into the city.
So we've established the why.
Yeah.
Human inactivity is creating the paths, and our traps are providing the bait.
Unfortunately, yes.
So what's the how-to here? How do we push them back out? I mean, cities must be treating this like a disaster-level threat.
They absolutely are. Municipalities are rolling out some serious cutting-edge technology to create a new line of defense.
Okay, let's talk about those countermeasures. What's the first line of tech defense?
The first one is AI camera systems. These aren't just normal security cameras.
Right, they have artificial intelligence built in.
Exactly. They can automatically detect the shape of a bear from up to 110 meters away, even in complex environments.
Wait, hold on. 110 meters. That's just a bit longer than a football field.
Yeah, it's not a huge distance.
If a bear is sprinting, 110 meters gives you, what, maybe 10 or 15 seconds of warning? Does an alarm even scare a bear that's already used to city noise?
That's a really valid point. And honestly, for a bear that's totally lost its fear of humans, the alarm might not scare it away at all.
So what's the point of the camera then?
The primary value isn't scaring the bear, it's preventing surprise encounters.
Oh, I see.
Most fatal bear attacks happen because a human and a bear bump into each other around a blind corner, and the bear panics and attacks.
Right, the element of surprise is the danger. So those 10 seconds give you just enough time to lock your door or back away.
Exactly, it breaks that deadly surprise factor.
Okay, so that's the warning system. But what about actually physically keeping them out?
For that, they're deploying electric mats.
Like electrified ground mats.
Yeah. You lay them flat at the entrance of a garden or the edge of a farm. If a bear steps on it, it delivers a sharp, painful shock.
I assume it doesn't kill them, right?
No, it's non-lethal. But bear paws are incredibly sensitive. The shock is enough to create a strong psychological deterrent. It teaches them that human areas equal pain.
Okay, that sounds pretty effective for a specific garden, but is there anything that covers a wider area?
Yes, the most impressive wide area tech is something called the Kumasonic.
Kumasonic, that sounds like a sci-fi weapon.
It kind of acts like one. They recently installed it along roads in Shirakawa-go in Gifu.
Okay, how's it work?
It emits a specific frequency of sound waves that bears absolutely hate, but it doesn't really bother humans.
Oh, wow. So it's like a dog whistle, but for bears.
Basically, yeah. And it projects the sound to create a 150-meter wide audio barrier. It's essentially an invisible wall of noise keeping them away from roads and houses.
That is fascinating. But what about the traps? We talked about how the boar traps were luring bears in Hakioji. Have they fixed that?
Yes, officials in Hakioji recognized the blunder. They are actively replacing those open boar traps with specialized bear box traps.
How does a box trap help?
If a bear goes into a box trap for the bait, the doors lock it safely inside.
Ah, okay.
It prevents the worst-case scenario, which is a bear eating the bait, leaving, and then realizing, hey, the city is full of free food, I should come back tomorrow.
Right. It stops them from becoming repeat offenders.
Exactly.
So those are the city-level defenses.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to this deep dive right now, you probably want to know what you can do personally.
Absolutely. Personal vigilance is your best defense.
So what's the #1 rule for someone living near these areas?
The absolute non-negotiable rule is garbage management.
Just keeping the trash secure.
More than just secure, you have to be meticulous. Bears have an incredible sense of smell, and they get obsessed with feeding spots.
So if they smell last night's dinner in your trash,
They will come back every single night. The absolute worst-case scenario, which has happened, is a bear literally breaking into a home to scavenge the trash inside.
that is terrifying.
So you must lock your bins, use sturdy containers, and never put garbage out the night before collection.
Right. And people are taking this really seriously. I saw that elementary schools in Hakioji are changing their rules.
Yeah, the bear bell exception.
Exactly. Normally, Japanese schools are super strict. No keychains, no accessories on backpacks.
Right, for safety and discipline.
But now they're making special exceptions, so kids can walk to school with bear bells jingling on their bags.
It's a smart move. The constant jingling warns any hidden bears that humans are approaching, giving the bear time to run away.
Okay, but let's talk about the nightmare scenario. Despite the AI, the mats, the garbage rules, the bells, you come face to face with a bear.
It's a terrifying thought, but you need to know the protocol.
The police in Hiroshima were very clear today. Do not approach it.
Never. I don't care if it looks small or cute. Do not pull out your phone to take a video.
Right, no social media points are worth your life.
Exactly. But if the bear has already seen you, you need to be able to recognize something called a bluff charge.
A bluff charge, what is that?
It's an intimidation tactic. We saw a chilling example of this in Sapporo recently with an experienced hunter.
What happened?
The bear suddenly lunged and sprinted right at the hunter at full speed, but then slammed on the brakes just a few feet away and retreated.
Oh man, I think my heart would literally stop. Why do they do a fake charge like that?
It's pure animal psychology. If a bear does a bluff charge, it usually means it's protecting a high-value food source right behind it.
Like one of those deer carcasses we talked about.
Exactly. It's not trying to eat you, it's telling you to back off from its food.
Okay, so it's a warning.
Yes, but a bear that exhibits this behavior has lost its fear of humans. It's what wildlife experts call a problem individual, and sadly, they usually have to be culled because the risk to the public is just too high.
So if a bear bluff charges you, you are in extreme danger.
Extreme danger.
What is the one thing you must never do in that moment?
Yeah.
Because my instinct would be to turn around, and run for my life.
That is the single worst thing you can do. Do not run.
Why? If it's charging, why shouldn't I run?
Because turning your back and running instantly triggers their predator chase instinct.
Like throwing ball for a dog.
Exactly. And you cannot outrun them. A bear might look heavy, but they can sprint at up to 50 kilometers per hour.
Wow. 50 kilometers an hour. You're not beating that.
Not a chance. If you run, you become prey.
So what's the correct move?
You hold your ground, you maintain eye contact, and you slowly, steadily walk backwards.
Slowly back away while facing them.
Yes. You are communicating in their language that you are not a threat and you are leaving their territory.
Well, this has been an incredible amount of information. Let me just try to summarize this deep dive for you all.
Please do.
So, bears are completely changing their diets. They're developing a taste for deer meat.
Right.
And because deer are fleeing hunters and hiding near our towns, the bears are following that food source.
Exactly.
Add in the depopulation, creating these abandoned, overgrown green bridges, and the fact that we've inadvertently lured them with wild boar traps.
That's a perfect storm.
It really is.
Yeah.
And surviving this new reality is going to take a mix of city-level AI and acoustic tech, incredibly strict personal garbage rules, and the mental discipline to never run away if you see one.
That sums it up perfectly. But, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay, let's hear it.
Throughout all the news reports, and even in our own discussion today, we keep using the word invading. We say the bears are invading our cities.
Right, because they're coming into human territory.
But think about all the evidence we just went through. We abandoned the rural buffer zones and let them overgrow.
Yeah.
We created hunting laws that turned our towns into safe havens for deer, bringing the meat right to our doorstep.
That's true.
And we literally left out traps full of sweet food.
Yeah.
So you really have to ask yourself, are the bears actually invading us? Or are they simply brilliantly adapting to a brand new ecosystem that we accidentally built for them?
That is a profound question. Are we the victims, or are we the architects of this whole crisis?
Something to think about next time you take out the trash.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for joining us on this deep dive today.
Stay safe out there.
Make sure you stay informed, keep your garbage secure, and we'll catch you on the next one.